Hello, hello, hello. What's going on, guys? Happy Saturday. What's up, Arrow? Yo, Remco Dutch. Hey, Corey. Hello. I've been trying to figure out how to get a stream in, but you know, I've been doing super secret stuff, so here we are. Today's the day. I've got some more stuff to get done today. Decent amount of work actually in AV. So I thought it'd be a good day to jump in on that. All right, let's get into it. Let's see. I'm about to nap wrecked. Big demon alt. Big demon alt. All right, let's watch this. Listen here, bot. Man, were you in my game? Oh my god, it's so cringe that she has those voice lines, man. She's so self-aware of being in a game. It's so silly sometimes. Nice. All right. I like the touch grass line, dude. It's so rage baity. All right, so I misjudged the middle island on what tier was actual terrain. So I've got a few things I want to do. I will try to keep them. I'll try to do things in order of priority because not everything is important at the moment. I do want to fix up the mushroom clumps. I kind of adjusted. What the hell is that? I see like a drop or something. Sub for enchanted big boy boxers. Audible drop? What the heck is that about? I don't know. Okay. Anyways, I kind of fixed up like the clumping of the mushrooms in the middle I did before I really settled in on like making them more clustery. So there's a chance that I may go through and kind of move them around and make them appear to be a little bit more natural. But yeah, also there's some in the water that I just need to remove because I misjudged the elevation. So let's play. Will this zone be available for EA? Yes, it will. Not only that, but this should... I think the goal, last I heard, was for this zone to be available before EA at some point in beta, at least in an early phase of it. I'm not sure how long you've been around, but were you playing or were you around back when Phalendrel was very first introduced, before there was any NPCs up in the city and they were all kind of down on the ground next to the bridge? I was not? No, it's all good. So that was like the very first pass on it. It was like, okay, cool, we've got the zone playable as far as mobs are going, like... some quests were already put in, but the city wasn't yet built out to put everybody where they belonged. And so there's kind of like a first introduction of it. This zone is a lot further along than that zone was at that time, obviously. But yeah, I guess all this to say that once the zone gets put in, it's not like, my understanding is when it's enabled in beta, it's not finished, far from. but it'll be somewhat playable, right? So there's still a lot to add as far as like questing and props, and it's like if I go through the city right now, you know, we've got lighting all around the outside here, but there's no lighting in the middle. That's pitch black, right? The only lights that you see are from prop items like this lantern. So everything is not yet lit on the inside of the city, except for this island, which was meant to be used as kind of a test to figure out the vibe that we wanted. So, what's up, Gulu Gulu? This would be a racist homestead. Yeah, this is Deep Elf City. Mm-hmm. This is for Deep Elves. So this is a whole city down in this cavern. So you'll be able to... I would compare it... I don't know about size, but I would compare it as far as content goes to Evershade Wields, where there's... It's different than Night Harbor in that Night Harbor literally has a noob yard, right? Like, it is actually fenced in, and you can visually see, okay, this is like level 1 through 3, and then beyond that's a little bit different. Evershade, it's like if you're right below the city, then there are mobs like 1 through 3. And then as you kind of move away, you encounter some orcs, and maybe they go up to like level 5, and some wisps and sorry, wasps actually, and you know, just whatever, a variety of mobs, and it kind of branches out. This zone is very similar. So there's newbie yards where it'll be levels 1 through 3, and then there'll be like level 5, level 10, level 12. Like there's a bunch of content in here, and then, you know, there will be some crossover into the neighboring zones, very similar to what you guys are used to. So. Mm-hmm. But Deep Elves will be able to start here, and yeah, I don't know if there's going to be a thing with like I personally haven't heard plans for Deep Gnomes, so when they get thrown in, I don't know if they'll be able to start here temporarily or long term or ever. I have no idea. I'm not sure if it'll be limited to strictly Deep Elves, or maybe Deep Gnomes have to go to Underdocs. I'm not sure yet. I haven't heard that or asked that question. What's up, Guy Love? It's a sick name. Big Scrubs fan. Assuming it's a reference to that. If not, then I'm a dummy. Do deep dwarves start near there, or only the elves? This is just the elves. The deep dwarves are very far away from this location. For sure, scrub reference. That's awesome. I love that so much. So one of the things that I'm going to do is continue with this theme. I'm gonna we've got mushrooms kind of sprinkled throughout the city area. I'm going to continue them into here because oh crap, I did. Well, maybe there's a couple more spots. I'll give it a better inspection. But I did want to hang the vines in here because I think this would be an acceptable location inside of here. I think that'd be cool. So I want to do that, which shouldn't be too much, but there's a few things I got to take care of. New Scrubs ain't good. Haven't checked it out. Okay, listen, you have to be very careful with the new Scrubs. Here's how they do it to you. The first episode, it's like nostalgia overlord. First episode, pretty good. And then they do a weird thing where it's like main characters aren't around. They introduce new people. And it's like, dude, what are they doing? It's like the school season all over again. And you have to put up with that for like 3 or 4 episodes. And then the last like 4 are great again. So I think they're just trying to establish new characters, but overall, good, worth checking out. Yes. Just there's your warning that there's a few episodes in there where you might be like, eh. But yeah, it gets better. Would be really swell to try out new Inquisitor with a new deep elf. Yeah, I think that think things should line up for that. Last I heard, let's see, I don't want to misquote or get the order wrong, but it was said publicly, yeah, okay, Inquisitor is being worked on right now. The remaining deep dives will come out in the order of Paladin Inquisitor is first, and then Shaman and Elementalist, and then Bard Necro Enchanter, and lastly Shadow Knight Ranger. So Inquisitor should be pretty soon, yeah. Yeah, Zukin was showing him off on his stream yesterday. He was going through like the various face and hair options and checking like what animations are in and hooked up, and doing that for both the Deep Elf and the Deep Gnome. So if you want to check that out, I'd take a look at his VOD from yesterday. So sad I have to wait. Ultimately, it won't be that long. There's a post on Discord that Inquisitor and Shaman are coming Tuesday. Sick. And I've already seen plenty of other work. Wait a second. Okay. Inquisitor and Shaman are coming Tuesday? Okay. Well, according to what was previously said, that means that Paladin and Elementalist should be soon after, if not, already in progress. That's interesting. All right. Shaman easy rework apparently. Yeah, I mean, I've seen. I could be a little off here, but from what I've seen, at least, it seems like Fighter definitely had some changes, but it kind of felt to me like it was more adding new things to it. And in a kind of similar fashion, I think, like, if you guys read through the class descriptions on the site that say, like, what the changes will be, a lot of them are like, oh, we think it's already in a pretty good place. We just want to add a little bit more stuff. Players quite hated? That's interesting. From a few people that I know playing Fighters, I do not get that from them at all. So I think maybe it depends on who's playing, maybe? I don't know. Sean felt good, hope they don't change it too much. Yeah, if I recall, it mentioned something about it was in a pretty good place. It's more of a thematic change. Like, sounds to me more so like renaming abilities and maybe like VFX and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, you guys know what the internet's like. First of all, any negativity is always louder than any positivity, always, right? Especially on forums of any kind. It's always been that way in any kind of like Discord or a Reddit or forum anywhere. There's always more negative posts than positive posts. So I don't know. I would say maybe talk to some people in game if you're trying to get a feel, or maybe if you don't have access, then like watch some streams of people playing Fighter and talk to them or something. I don't know, but also, I've been pretty damn busy with my own stuff, so I haven't haven't paid a ton of attention to everything. So the happy folks are playing the game. Yeah. I mean, every once in a while you see some kind of like appreciation post, you know what I mean? But like most people that are happy don't do that. If you go out to eat at a restaurant, how many times have you ever been like, can I see a manager? I want to tell them how great this was. That almost never happens. Alternatively, you know, when something goes wrong, then they always hear it, right? Naturally. Makes sense. Yeah, I feel you, dude. I just feel like I think that something to keep in mind is every single rework that comes out doesn't come out as a finished all the way through product, right? So they come out as the version that it's at when it comes out, and you know there's still tweaking to do, generally speaking, for pretty much all of them, right? And so the best thing you can do is use the forums and whatnot and say, you know, hey, I'm this level fighter, I'm playing, here's my feedback and why I think this way, and help offer valuable info to get it where it needs to be. But it's also something to remember that, like, even when EA launches, like, classes will obviously continue to be worked on for a long time. So nothing is completely set in stone. Are you considering going full time if the game does well, or are you happy with your current spot? If we do well enough that is an option, that would be sick. Is that a simple enough generalized answer? I don't know. I had to think about it. I'm like, is this something that I should say or not? So yeah, we'll just say that. If the game is successful enough that I'm able to, that'd be sick. In success, all things are possible. I mean, dude, it's all perspective. Like, you could argue that in some cases the game is already a success strictly because it has gotten this far through development. Even if the game, I don't even want to say those words out loud. Like, even if the game had never launched, right? The fact that this much work has been done on it is already a success story, in that, you know, a game has been able to be developed to this level with only out of pocket funding. Like, that's already unheard of. So pretty crazy already. But yeah, any success would be a pretty wild story. Tell you what, I'll just switch over to this for now, and then some of this easy, like, moving mushroom around type of work. This is like when Sean talks about moving rocks on stream and stuff, right? Some work is just kind of mindless and I can do while I talk, and then some work I'm like, all right, I got to do this, do that, move this thing there, and like I can't do that when I'm talking. So I end up resorting to mindless tasks that I can do without having to think. If the team's goal was to create a world that people are spending time in, y'all have rocked it. Yeah, it's been fun. I'll say this, like it's a really cool time for in my opinion, it's a cool time for anyone on the environment team, and you know, it's everybody in the team in general. But specifically, like my experience and probably what a lot of people on the environment team will share is it's a really cool time for us because like when I joined, we still had to do like zone finalization in all these zones that already existed. So coming into the team, we had like, you know, Shaded Dunes and Sungri and Night Harbor and Glass Flats and Zintar and all these zones that were already like playable and like finished to the state that the game was in. But then we had to go through all these like finalization stages on them and like change geometry and get texture work in and vertex paint. And there was just a lot of work that was like finalizing stuff that was already in. And once we got past that and it's like, okay, now we can work on new stuff. Progress has been way faster, obviously, when you're able to focus on only new things. So it's a really exciting time to like sort of put that stuff in the past, because we'll always go through and make updates to zones. There's always going to be like, oh, let's update this POI to something new because we got these new mobs, or because this lore is now in and we want to add it in here or whatever. But you know, the fact that it's like mostly done, being able to just move forward with brand new stuff, it's a lot of fun. So it's gonna be really cool once EA's out, seeing people in, like for me, it'll be cool seeing all the people in like the zones that I got to touch finally, and you know, pushing forward beyond that would be pretty fun. So I'm trying to check the scale of these right now. I know they're all very small because I need to get more of them in. And it's looking like they're all around. Wow. I haven't seen anything. Oh, there we go. So maybe like 0.65 to 0.25 or something. It's the variance. So let's do... a little bit difference in there. Yeah, I'm pumped. It's going to be really cool to see people in here too, as long as, I think it's kind of like most things, as long as we're able to set clear expectations. And it's kind of unfair for the people that are watching more closely from the streams and whatnot, who already kind of have expectations, and know, like anyone that's in here, you guys already know the state of this zone, for example, or at least can hear me talking about it. So then when it comes out, you already kind of know what to expect, right? Versus somebody who doesn't follow it. There's a layer. Here we go. And they join expecting, you know, whatever level of finalization that isn't in. It's a bummer. maybe this isn't all that bad. I think I just hope EA isn't delayed. Nah, it's not going to be delayed. I mean, really all it is, you know, just turning the servers on. I forget how it was worded before. So I don't know. But it was said something about how basically some kind of like it would take some level of disaster for EA to be delayed, and if so, it would be like just to clear out whatever that disaster is. So sorry I can't word it more eloquently. I don't remember how it was said before. But yeah, I mean it's coming out. It's really just a matter of turning the servers on and being happy with the amount of content that's in at the time, right? Let's see Night Harbor fill out with markets, storefronts, signs, lights, etc. Yeah. Man, I'm glad you said that. There's actually, man, I wrote down a note. There's a couple spots that I need to visit that I noticed recently. It's just tough right now. It's very much. I don't want to call it crunch because we're volunteering, you know, but like it's very much like it's comparable to like doing a school project or something, or I guess a work project, right? Where it's like, dude, you know, you see the deadline approaching, and it's like, all right, I got to get this done, and trying to get those things in, you know. It's like there's the list of like, okay, I have to do these things, and then it would be nice to do these things. And anything that isn't done by the buzzer will be done after and put into some kind of patch, right? But yeah, the propping has been really nice. Let me check the website real quick so I can like properly mention. I think Sean has talked about any like new personnel on stream before. Yeah, it's on the website. So we've got a guy that joined the team recently who is super knowledgeable in a bunch of stuff. But I'm not sure if he wants me to say all that. He joined the team just to assist with things. And so he's literally just going through and helping with like propping right now. So it's been extremely helpful personally for me, so that I can focus some time in other tasks at the moment. But yeah, we've been working on some top secret stuff recently, which is why I haven't gotten any streams in a while. And I'm super pumped for you guys to see what I've been doing. I think people will be pleasantly surprised. Like, I don't know. It's hard to get expectations right sometimes, but yeah. Ads. Let's play. I'll repeat. It's funny. like I don't want mushrooms to be absolutely everywhere, but at the same time, it needs to be a consistent theme, and when they're not around, it feels like they're missing. So it's a tough thing to get the density right. Also, like having some patches a lot smaller than others. All right, I haven't touched any of this, but I'm thinking I won't outside the city. I do want to put regular mushrooms and stuff, but I've kind of been trying to sort like what is in each spot, kind of. Yeah, this is the Deep Elf City. Mm-hmm. All right, ads are over. Les, can you hear now? It's funny. Yes. Okay, cool. No, all I was saying is I've been kind of hidden working on a super secret thing, and so I haven't been able to stream for a while because of that, because we're keeping it kind of secretive for now. But I was saying I hope people are excited. I think they will be, but it's hard because you want to manage expectations properly. So I don't want to like hype anything up bigger than it should be either, because a lot of people will be like, oh, okay, well, yeah, that's not a big deal. But I'll assume the mention of the new staff member was about adding props. Yes, I'm sorry, T-Poon. Yeah, it's been so helpful. He has been focusing on the underdocs and getting that propped out. So what'll be cool is when the underdocs comes online, the propping in that zone is, I mean, in all the places that have been done, it's stellar, but the whole zone, by the time that it's playable, which should be relatively soon, will already be at the level of all of Night Harbor, right? So that's a big deal, I think. And then once that's complete, I believe he'll be able to transition on over to AV here. Scale-wise, how close is Cave Elf to Tree Elf? I'm not sure. It's really tough because Evershade is very open. It's almost, Evershade is kind of like a big circle with some elevation changes and stuff, obviously, and there's some caves. The difference is AV is very cavey. So as I fly around here, you're like, okay, you can kind of get a feel for how big the cave area is. And sorry, I'm going to give you kind of an extended answer, but for anyone that's like losing sight of scale, it's very easy to do when I'm in here. This is the size of a human, by the way. So keep that in mind when we're zooming around like this and you see this. Here's a human, okay? Again, these are very large mushrooms, and these ones are like knee or waist high. So it's a very large space, and it's difficult to see that when I'm in the scene view like this. But not only do we have the space that you can see readily right now, but like we've got what if we go under this area and this kind of just, this goes out for a while. We've got a ton of space under here, right? And if I zoom out and just show caves, you know, you've got, okay, well, I decided to take the route where we won't see any. But outside of here, you know, we've got like caves all back through there, and we've got caves all through this area, and caves under there. So there's a lot of stuff that is beyond as well. So it feels like it's a pretty big zone. How dark is it? It's kind of a tricky thing to answer, because whatever I show you, it's going to be different on everyone's monitor. Keep that in mind. But as a default, if you want like a decent look, I can go, one second. I think it's this one. Nope. This one. Yes. So if I do that and then disable this. So some areas are lit and some areas are not. This would be a good example of kind of the expectation. However, the middle of the city, we don't have lights in it yet, so that's why it's pitch black right now. But, you know, this area is kind of what's expected. And I will say, you know, sometimes there is like a slight shift of difference from what we're seeing here in the editor versus what's in game. It might be like an additional, not a big difference, but it might be like, you know, 10 or 15% brighter in game still. I can kind of cheat that, but there's no saying that this is accurate. Oh yeah, this was just so I could see. Ignore that. But yeah. Really want an abandoned mine shaft? Done. You'll be happy. Visit the Underdocks. Not a mini dungeon, but area. Also, another area. Done. Go check out Rothold when it's online. There's some stuff like that, so you'll be happy. But there are areas with that theme. But I kind of agree with you. Like it'd be really fun to do an entire closed dungeon of just that. And plus that would give us an excuse to expand that asset set so we can get even cooler props for that type of theme. So I think it could get used a lot. What's up, Dragon? How's it going, man? All right, let's turn this. I think I've really just been working like this. Maybe, I don't know. What's up, Wolf? Loving the feel, even though it is dirty, stinky elves. Yeah, dude. You still got another elf city to deal with at some point. One and done? That was nice. I assume that the process for Module 2 be faster than Module 1. Yes. Based off of exactly what you said. I don't think that like we will suddenly yeah, I think that the things that we've learned in making the base game and then making module 1 content, personally, and I've seen it in as well in the other artists, but like personally, my work speed is, I can't even quantify. It is so much faster than when I first got on the team. It's major difference. It's crazy. So yeah, I think module 2 will be able to, depending on how you look at it, it either means that we'll be able to put it together a lot faster, or it means that we'll be able to like add more cool shit in a shorter period of time. Burn that elf city down. Well, FYI, you'll have a lot easier of a time burning down the wood elf city than this place. You know, one of them very flammable. By the way, with a lot of open flames, so I don't know who's keeping track of that over there, but man, those elves are dangerous. Let me tell you. I always thought that was funny that Phalendrel has so many open flames in a city built entirely out of wood up in the trees. Like it's such an insane fire hazard. I graybox a dungeon concept in Godot and rebuilding in Unity. Now it's basically a large tree with an entrance down to the root system for undead wood elf boys. It suffered from a lot of scale creep though. Just got owned in, I think. Nice. That's cool. Is it just coincidence, or is there any inspiration from like Great Deku Tree kind of thing? Hell yeah. Nice. Very cool. Gotta be pumped for the new Ocarina then. Are we officially calling it a remake? Is that the proper terminology? Because I saw something about like people being very specific about the term remake versus, oh yeah, I guess it's not a remaster. That'd be the other option, right? So yeah, it's a remake. Yeah, I'm super pumped. Ever since I started working on MnM, I've really only ever streamed MnM content. Claire Obscure was the first example. I did, sorry, the first exception. I did a big marathon stream over one weekend and did a playthrough on that game, and it was super fun. Highly recommend. But that was it. That's the only game I've streamed since being on the team, and Ocarina of Time will be the second one. So whenever that's out, I will definitely be super excited to share that experience. Really looking forward to it. 33 stream was awesome. I had a lot of fun. But man, I'm bad. Like, I've watched so many other people play it at this point, just kind of waiting to, you know, tuning in. Oh. Wonder if that was me? Sorry. Yeah, I've watched a handful of other people play it, just like checking in to see what other people's reactions are. And not only is everyone's party always so different, but man, people are able to like parry stuff so well. I'm terrible at that, apparently. I was really bad at that game, but I had a lot of fun. I had mentioned a few times now that at some point I want to do another marathon stream of just M Dev, where I want to do like an entire dungeon where we concept it on stream. I'll have to know going into it where it's going to be and what the theme is. Obviously, that has to get approved first. But yeah, like the entire layout and everything, I want to figure out on stream, start to finish, and see if I can do. If I can complete it by the end of an extended weekend. I really, really, really want to do that. I think it'd be a lot of fun. I saw a short the other day that was it was like, listen, there's one thing that everybody wants to know in Ocarina of Time. What's the rating going to be, and what are those fairies going to look like? It's so funny. Because man, at the time of N64, those fairies were crazy looking, you know. Do that, please. I'd love to. It'd be fun. If Scarlet stuff was neat, yeah. I definitely have plans. It's a matter of like working that in, and right now everything is so it's so important to like get everything in that you guys already know about. I just can't. I don't think it'd be a good idea to try to squeeze that in right now. Those Madonna bras, Wolf, they had leaves over them. Those weren't bras. That's just what those character models looked like. I think because there's so much water in here, even though this is inside the city, I think I want to put a couple of these, at least in some of the more untraveled areas. Just to have a little something I think would be cool. Not necessarily where everyone's running, just kind of off to the side in a couple places. Because we've decided that fungus, we've decided it grows near water, right? So I need to keep that consistent. Although it seems there's really only this one spot. That would be a decent spot, actually. I think I'm going to swap these. We'll do another one of those here. Let's grab any of them that I can find. Surely this is different. Okay, and then we are not there. Here. More of the pointiness, yeah. That would be cool. Because it'd be something that you can see from out there too, showing that there's something in here. And that's just a tunnel connecting. I can't decide if it's alright to put one in there or not, so we might just have that. No, I'll put one over here too. Hopefully this one's different. Interestingly, I never turned these into prefabs of like different setups. I kind of just kept them loose the whole time. So each one can kind of shift around. I don't know. I'm not sure if that is going to turn out to be a good decision or a bad decision, but... Alright, well, that's cool. I don't think there's... We could maybe sneak one in here too if I move these mushrooms. I'll just delete them. Well, there's one right across the water, so we don't need that. I just wanted a few. That adds a little bit of diversity. That's cool. I think that's good. And then the big thing that I wanted to do in here is the vines. So let's take a look at out here. Don't need that anymore. Let's see. And if I look to put this, nope. Back on default. Then these are, whoa. It's gotta be because they're inside this folder. I think the folder's resized is what happened. Yeah, because these are the correct size as soon as I place my prefabs, so we're good. Cool. What's up, Penemu? Yay, ceiling moss. More of it. I haven't done anything inside here, so now I'm doing it. It's pretty... Yeah, that's alright. Is that gonna glow? Yep. Sure does. Alright, I got lost, but I found my way back. Now for an armor set to be made of that moss that glows in the dark. That's an interesting thought. Do you think we would ever have armor that glows? I mean, I know there's stuff like, I don't know if it's still in, but originally there's like the low level ranger quest in Night Harbor gives you a tunic that provides like the tiniest little bit of ambient light around you. But I mean the armor being emissive, not a light source. Be pretty cool. Vine encrusted armor. It does sound pretty cool. I like it. That is destroying my brain. The angle that I was getting on that was wonky. If it only lit up when around other fungi or something, oh, that'd be so cool. Are you just trying to get us closer to having Sting in the game where it's like, uh-oh, there's orcs around, my sword's glowing? I mean, that would be pretty cool, though. What do you guys think about, I think I've heard Sean talk about this a long time ago, but what do you think about crafting systems where, like, if you make a sword, one, having the crafter's name on it, so it says like made by so and so. I think that's cool, but in addition to that, if it is if it's a sword that you made, and maybe it requires like doing something extra to it, like enchanting it or something, I don't know. But what do you think about being able to name it? Which one did I... Okay, I need to try to do this in some kind of organized area or order. Group 2. All right, let's just go in order to keep them not all samey-wamsy. I'm surrounded by fungi. Oh wait, I'm in the deep. Yeah. Astring's call to that is the best. Showing the crafter's name would be so rad. Also, item description. Inscriptions. Yeah, that'd be cool. Sounds like something that'd be neat to do at max crafting skill for a quest. Oh, yeah, that's cool. Something that you have to earn as like an artisan crafter. You get to, put your engraving on the weapons or something. That's neat. Unlocking it. T-Poon Sword of the Bump. Yeah, there'd be a lot of that. There'd be a lot of like, whatever stupid names people come up with. Fiend by Proxy, thanks for the follow. Especially when we know that there's going to be uncommon and rare crafting recipes in endgame. Yeah, dude. It'd be so cool. Maybe that does work. Maybe make this one a little bit smaller. We'll get the lights up in here. Sometimes it's tough on finding the right spot on these because it's like it's nice as just like a thing that's up there, but if you start looking really close, dude, I've looked at these so much that I start to get bothered by like just where different sections of it clip and cuts off, and it's like, does that look bad? And then I tell myself that, you know, oh well, you know, it's very old school to have that kind of a look, and that makes me feel like it's acceptable, and then I'm able to move on. But sometimes that does get me. I'm like, I don't know if I love how that looks. But it definitely is pretty old school. This guy could be oversized for sure. The clipping is a nostalgia. Yeah, I think in a lot of cases it's cool. Killing a giant king would unlock a complex recipe for sword named the Giant Slayer. Oh, that'd be so cool. I guess I always think of it from a perspective of like, you just never know what's going to happen. So, you know, what's the likelihood of like two players being in this area and they're like, oh, hey, I'm over at the docks. Meet me at the fountain to complete some kind of trade or whatever. Or they're lost. Like, oh, I'll help you. And then they're right next to it. And then they take a screenshot. I don't know. I'd kind of think of everything as a screenshot moment. Like, does this look good here? I think I want like a really small cluster here. The one that's got me lately has been iron root being 2D every way you look at it. All the other herbs look so good, and then there's iron root. Yeah, it was a toughie, and I was just thinking about herbs when you said that too. One sec, let's pull it up. there was an attempt to make it kind of not flat, right? Where it's kind of pulled out a little bit. And then in effort to give it some width, the roots are kind of going out to the side. So there was an effort to try to make it not completely flat, but like once you get over here, like that's really hard to not be. But I feel it was one of the harder ones for sure. There's some... I always thought this one was cool because it's super, super low poly. But I think it's cool. I don't know. I've thought recently, after seeing some other editions, I've kind of thought of scaling it up a bit. Like, what if we made it 5-sided instead? But I think there's something kind of cool about that being so low. I don't know. Harvesting those. What else do we have? Prefabs. Oh, this is a fun one. Hey, is Dewdrop in the game anywhere? Have you guys seen that one? No? Damn. We've been waiting for it to come out forever. Damn. There's a lot of them that... Let's see. I made all of the herbs, right? Like Goblin painted the textures. We had another texture artist at the time that did little more than half of them as well. But yeah, this was a fun project. I did all the herb models. What else we got? It's the only one we don't have in game yet. So you have Dragon's Vigil and Doomleaf was a really fun one, man. I think this one's so cool looking. Too bad I'm like not in the ideal lighting to show any of these off. Tongue. Flamesock was a long conversation for a long time. It was very much like a settling on... Oh, it's the same one. And Gattlevine made it eventually. That's a wild one. Ghost Poppy. Never seen it clean though because it's underwater. I have a feeling that our underwater stuff will get polished at some point in the future. I know there was a desire for underwater to be really dark at one point, and so everything kind of got cranked up to 11. So you dive underwater and it's like super, super dark now. Iron Root. Oh, Last Breath was cool. Anyone that's never seen the herbs before is just like getting all the preview. Let's see. Lion Leaf, Mage Bloom. Oh yeah, this one was really fun. It's great. Makes exploring last resort a nightmare. Well, we have the ability to change, like, not all underwater needs to be the same. So if it's, for example, when I did Grimtide, I was like, oh, this is like so dark underwater that I would, like, you would never be able to explore this tunnel. And so I had to do like a custom setting for Grimtide so that it was a little bit more visible under there. Otherwise, you just want to be able to navigate. Like, I get if you're in the ocean, but yeah, like you had to be able to see. So I cranked it up quite a bit in there. So I wonder if maybe the thing is, Sunken Resort is kind of meant to be like dirty water, like dirty lake water. So maybe that's the desire is to have it like that. I don't know. You haven't seen this yet, right? Shade Shroom? I don't think that's in anywhere. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think so. They're in? What the hell? Okay. Damn, dude. Guess I haven't kept up on this at all. What about this one? You ever get Placeholder Herb Dark? Ooh, wait, what about Placeholder Herb Red? Hey, Tams TV, thanks for the raid. Appreciate that. Welcome in. Welcome. Thanks for the raid. How was the stream? I am Chinny. If anyone doesn't know, I'm one of the environment artists on M&M's. I'm working on the Deep Elf City, but we kind of got off on a tangent, and we're going through looking at some of the herbalism nodes. So I was pulling that up. Stranglevine. Oh, that's a cool one. Yeah. It was great. Just been gaming. Nice. Yeah. If you haven't seen the Deep Elf stuff, I'll do a really quick fly through in just a moment here. I'm really close to the end of this one. We're on S. So Stygian Moss. Okay. Interesting. Why isn't the bottom part of that working, I wonder? There's a reason. I don't remember what it is, but there's supposed to be another texture under here. I think it has something to do with the layer, but I don't remember. I don't want to waste time on it right now. What's up, Hellnuff? How you doing, man? All right, yo, Penny, I got one that you have not seen. Guarantee, I know you haven't seen it before. Whoa. Over 10 years is crazy. Yeah, you're old, dude. It's you, not me. I'm definitely not old. Dude, that's nuts. Thanks, man. Crazy. Thank you. 10 years is insane. Witherweed, Whispering Sage. Okay, that's not it. That's bait. I bet that you've never seen Unnamed Plant B, because it didn't have a thing. But you know what it ended up getting used for? This got polished and used for the root VFX. So when you get root and there's like thorns on the character's feet, this herb got used for that. So that was kind of an interesting thing. I never ever in a million years thought that I would be affecting that. So that was an interesting thing. But yeah, so that's all of them, I think. I mean, there's a couple that I missed. There's one specifically that I'm wondering, like, what happened to it? There's one that has a pool of water in the bottom, and I didn't recognize that when I was going through But I want to pull that up, so give me 1 second to do that, and then I'll do my little fly through. Oh boy, I gotta find, what's the file even called anymore? I think it was like, oh, I have several different ones. Plants, herbs, D sounds like it might be a later one. It is. Oh, it's just dewdrop. Dewdrop. Okay. Never mind. All right, let's take a look around. So first, let's turn off the lights so it looks as intended, mostly. This is what the Deep Elf Zone looks like. Gotta do actual lighting here. That was pretty placeholdery. And then the city's quite large. But yeah, that's where we're at, and I've been filling out the area under here. What's up, Nate Dogg Online? Are you the Nate Dogg? That's pretty crazy. Wouldn't have expected that. The one and only? Damn. Pretty cool. You just gotta find somebody that gets in, and then bribe them for their friend key. Just tell them that, you know, you'll be their cleric or something. Well, that's not great. Whoa. We're almost there. This is very very vibe based. Not very scientific. There's nothing over here. Are there going to be more types of herbs added in the deep, or is this going to be using existing herbs down there in very limited locations? It's a great question. I don't really know. I haven't kept up on crafting plans and changes recently to know. But as you know, there are region-specific herbs. For example, you can get what is it, iron root over in Evershade. You can get the glowing one over there out in Keeper's Bite, right? There's some like desert ones, and then there's some forest ones at the moment. So, you know, we've got like flame stalk and then phoenix flower and stuff over in the desert. And so there should be some deep ones, I would think, but yeah, the idea is for some regional plants. So, you know, when we inevitably get into like snow areas, I'm assuming there will be some snow ones, and I would hope that there's some unique to the swamp. So, I haven't seen personally, just because I haven't looked in a very long time, what the plan is for all the various biomes and what will be going in there. But my understanding is that we should get essentially every module. If it's a new biome, there should be new plants for it, which then means new potions. So yeah, we'll see. G59 Hook, thanks for the follow. Maybe Dewdrop is going to be late. Well, I assumed Shade Shroom would be, but yeah. Maybe not. Lots of Shade Shroom, Stygian Moss. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. We'll see. It definitely makes some... It's interesting because unless we have a significant amount of those unique ones put in, then it's almost a disadvantage to being in the deep if you're looking to get herbs, right? So it's like, what's the advantage then? More mining nodes, maybe? I don't have the answer. I'm just thinking. All right. I don't want things like too even everywhere, but also I don't want like very large empty spaces either. So just trying to see, like, this space right here could use something maybe, but maybe it's a lesser covered space. So just like a little bit, maybe I just do another one of these guys. If you're starting in Underdocs or Elfland, it's gonna suck if you want to do Alchemy Herbalism unless there's an equivalent number of top side plants down there. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's just something that is thrown in. Like it's cool when things are immersive, but every once in a while there's things where it's like, well, yes, but also it's a video game, so sometimes you kind of have to figure out when to... Sometimes you have to go with gameplay over how immersive things are. So it's It's tough sometimes, for sure. A really good example of that is like a sewer dungeon, right? You're building out a sewer system. Why are there like so many big crazy open rooms? And it's definitely not practical, but it's a dungeon, so it's cool. It's a video game. So every once in a while you go with the rule of cool. And I'm pretty happy with the density. Now I just want to make sure that we're varying scale a bit more, because I don't want everything to hang to the same exact height from the ceiling, right? We've done a good job of shifting it up individually within these prefabs, but that's a cool one because it goes right down over that. Can you adjust the amount of light each gives off? Is it possible? Yes. Do we? No. So there's two ways to look at that. One is the emissive. So the emissive texture just means that it is always lit up, right? You can always see the color no matter where you are, but it's not actually providing any light. Like, this isn't glowing, it's just that you can always see the texture. So to add light to it, now I have to go and grab lights and put them in. And so on one hand, we could go into the texture settings and change the level of emissive that this is. But it's going to adjust for all of them, right? So we could scale it down and make it really dim, or we can make it super duper bright. And so what I could do is duplicate the material and make 5 different versions and have them on varying scales. But if we're just talking about the actual lights, then that's a little different. A lot of these we actually didn't put lights on, huh? It's interesting. I don't know if I duplicated that or not. I don't want to like... No, I didn't. Well, I'm glad I checked. I was just stealing a light. um every single race will eventually have their own starter area. Like every player race will have their own city eventually. And that will all happen over the course of modules released over time, right? So, you know, the Wood Elves were the first to get their city. Then Deep Elf is included in Module 1. It's interesting that, like, we have Underdocs coming out with it. Even though it's an extension of Night Harbor, it's going to feel like it's kind of its own city. But ultimately is just Night Harbor. Yeah, each module will essentially be like a city and the surrounding areas. Might be the gap. No, that's so what he was saying is goblins might start down there when they choose Night Harbor. So the way that the Underdocs is going to work as a spawn is when you create a character and you choose a starting city and you pick Night Harbor, if you are determined to be a more evil leaning character, then you get thrown in the Underdocs. If you are a more good leaning character, you get thrown up on the surface in Night Harbor. That's how that works. But it's the same spawn. It's the same city. So he was saying that he was considering making so that all goblins spawn in the Underdocs. But the goblins will still get their own city one day, which is the Heap. And the goblin city is in a very different part of the world. And there's actually... I think in concept, let me double check. Yeah, if you go through concept art, I think there's like 2 images of the Heap, maybe. Yeah, so you've got actually like 4. So you've got like this. Hey, what's up, Goblin? And you got this. And you've got this showing like how they're sorting all their shinies. And then I don't think this is, right? Isn't this like troll or something? I don't remember. Oh, okay. This is also Heap. Okay. I was hesitant to throw it in there. It made sense because it was next to it, but okay, cool. But in any case, yeah, so that'll be the real true goblin starting. Oh, not that. But that'll be the real true goblin starting area when we get there. But, you know, like, you're always going to have multiple locations to pick from when you start. In contrast to saying that goblins might always start in the Underdoc, I think he was also saying that Wood Elves might always start on the surface if they pick Night Harbor. Like I think there's a potential where a Wood Elf, when starting in Night Harbor, might never be able to do the Underdocs. Of course, I don't know that for a fact. I think I've heard that might maybe be a thing, but... you know, I kind of don't really want to throw that down here, because I think we might end up getting, like, some torches and stuff. The whole reason of throwing some lighting was just to help with the fact that we've got the vines in here, and I felt like it kind of went with that. So not doing a lot. Bit sad not all races for the initial release, mostly thinking about starting traits since those are permanent. For example, Troll Lizard, if they have something like HP regen similar to EQ. Yeah, they probably will. But, you know, that's going to be 1.0 release, so... Kinda is what it is. But I get it. I think we need to put... It's just such a low ceiling. And I don't like, when we have these, I don't like blowing up the entire ceiling with lights. I think it usually looks kind of weird. So there's like some kind of mix needed. And ultimately, like, the goal of this is really just to light up, like, the stalactites in the surrounding area. But... yeah, no, maybe I'll just pass on this. I was really just doing the props. What's up, Fluvikov? How's it going, dude? Yeah, I'll just pass on this for the time being. We got so much lighting to do in the city anyway. Okay, well, cool. I got these. That was a big deal. I think there was maybe... let's think. This way, yeah. There might have been something. Don't know if that was new. Man, I'm just trying to... would that be worth? Oh, yeah. We got to do this, the connected area out here. So this section has houses. I would very much count this as like in the city. So that gets the purple shrooms still. So everything connected like from here down to the bridge would be city stuff. I could maybe get away with putting some of the green guys right here. It's not exclusive, but then over here, this tiny little thing, it's kind of like not city, so I want to put some big shrooms and stuff over there. And then we're right back into it again. So really, it's just that one back spot where I want to have them. So not really a big deal, actually. And I'm thinking we're probably only doing 2, maybe 3 clusters of shrooms there. Oh, you know, we should do one of those lanterns over here. Maybe. Could be cool. Okay, so this is connected from that bridge. I see. Do those and oh, I'm gonna do the freaking lamp right in the middle of that. That would be cool. Oh man. All right, spot for 3. We'll do. Keep it off center a bit. Maybe do the other 2 right here. Cool. Cool. Let's grab the light. And this guy. Okay. Now, underneath all of these, we've got that. But I need to separate what I just did. I'll do that later on. And then the last bit is we gotta do a couple of the green guys want the lamp shrooms. So let's grab a lamp from further away. Like this guy maybe. Nope. Yeah. Alright, hopefully this is cool. Right in the water. Well, not in the water, but you know. Keep that as tall as possible. That's cool. And then I want to get some of these guys. Cool. All right. So gotta add in the little mushrooms. I guess I could try to swap over. Let's see. Deep vines. Okay, those are gone. And this is always tricky. It's tricky because the prefabs are a bit different. So, let's see. Oh, you know what? I should probably finally remove those guys, huh? We don't need that anymore. Also, I think it's a separate thing, but I'm going to take a look really quick. Hanging cage. I see. So that one is textured. That one is textured. That one's textured. I'm not sure what happened here. Cage. Don't think this is what we want, but as an environment guy, maybe you can answer this. Do most of the races live on the west side of the continent and the east side is the wilderness? No. The cities are spread throughout. So there's going to be another large city that is similar to Night Harbor over on the east side, and just called Easttime. And then all the races have their cities kind of scattered throughout in their different regions, right? Like the ogres will live up in the snow, and halflings are in like the grassy prairie fields, which are kind of sort of centrally located. Yeah, it's kind of scared about. And there's another human city called Terralon. It's kind of meant to be, I believe it's the capital of the continent. And so that'll be somewhere middle-ish. So there's a lot of stuff all over. Lone trees make Easttime sound like a ghost town, literally. Yeah, there's... It'll be interesting to see how we can separate the look of that from the Deep Elf City. But it is... I believe that's going to be more of like a Gothic vibe. Yeah, so I think over by Easttime you can expect kind of like your creepy forest filled with, fog and undead stuff and that type of vibe. Hope you're having a good day. Thanks. Welcome on in. Not sure what happened with this is in terms of the prefab, but I'll just go ahead and throw the material on. Let's do that and that, and I'll just keep that around. And then I'll search for cage. That one can go. Cage. Oh, that's not what I want. Oh, it's because we don't. This isn't the prefab. Oh, that makes sense. Okay, but I'm actually not able to update some of this because it's in the main scene. Like any of those, but I can do these two. The rest I'll have to chill for now. Okay. All right, there's a weird thing that I have to do with these shrooms. If I recall. All right. So I'm pretty sure that if I take all of these, put them in here. Uh-oh. Loading. One sec. Again. Are Deep Gnomes going to have their own starter area in the locations we're getting in Module 1? Or are they going to be Night Harbor Underdark starts? The only racial specific thing that we're getting is the Deep Elf City. So that's it. So deep gnomes will, like deep elves will be able to start in Night Harbor. Deep gnomes will be able to start in Night Harbor. Every race has the option to start in Night Harbor. Now, like I was saying before, you know, depending on if you're considered more leaning good or leaning evil, that'll determine if you're starting on the surface or in the deep. But Underdogs is still Night Harbor, right? Now, I mentioned I don't know if deep gnomes will be able to start in the Deep Elf City. I suspect they won't, based on the lore. But I'm just saying, in terms of like the halflings can start in Phalindrel, so I don't know if there's going to be an option for another race here. But yeah, unsure on that front. Don't know if it's gonna play out the way that I wanted to here, but it might. Let's see. Right. Forgot that that was a thing. Children of prefabs. Damn. Okay, well now I have them all selected. There was a way to do this, but it's tricky. It won't let me do that. I might just do this later, because I don't remember what the trick is off the top of my head. Maybe if I copy it out of there. Yeah, actually, that did it. The absence of a deep gnome city in Module 1, the lore between the deep elves and deep gnomes, just had me wondering where they might be. Yeah, I mean, you know, the Module 1, it's not the entire deep. It's just some zones from the deep, right? Let's see. So I'm trying to find... Oh man, okay, that's not doing what I wanted it to do. I'm gonna undo this. Damn. I don't. Let's try again. That's an interesting idea, actually. What if instead I borrow this? Do it this way. So the annoying thing that I'm trying to do, the reason this is so weird, is I need to get all of these out of the parent object in order to resize them appropriately, right? So if I go here and I do that, okay, it's not changing the size actually, but that does. But in any case, let's just do this, because this is all in this scene. And paste it. Actually, they're all copied. There we go. That's what I wanted. And so that's duplicates of... Oh, that's weird. Okay, never mind. Super weird. I'm not sure what the correct way to solve this at the moment is, so I'll just hold off for later. I thought I had it, but it's weird, so it's fine. I just can't finalize the mushrooms until then. I'll do it off stream. All right, well, that's pretty much all the work I was going to do inside of the city area for now. The last bit was I have some things to do over here, which I think is just circling back again to some lighting choices, and there's a couple of things, like I think we got to throw material on this. It's a bit of a different building, but Well, that'll be interesting. Not sure what we want to do about the roof on there. What's the trim on this? I'm guessing that's old stone. No. Just stone. Okay, yeah, that's the one. Yeah, I don't know about the top part there. What about like a white brick or something? Maybe that is better. Not sure. One of these has to go, whichever one's not attached to the building, which I'm assuming is that one. Yeah. Okay. We have... Nope. But I think all these other towers are kind of similar to it, right? Similar-ish. I'm guessing that we want this to be kind of similar. Oh, no, we got to UV this whole thing. All right. And we got to get this bridge. Okay. There's a handful of things we got to do on this front section still. We may need to hold on to that for a second. I think, yeah, this is still all Pro Builder. So in order for this to look correctly, I'm thinking we might need to bring that cliff out, because I don't know if there's anything I can do to make this feel better here. I'll try. Is it might actually just be having that stick out a bit, and it was clipping through, which is causing it to be weird. So maybe that fixes the problem in itself. And then with that, maybe I can get this one where I want it. Okay, it is a lot better. And I think we can kind of clip that through on this side and it'll be acceptable. Now it's just a matter of getting the right height and the right angle. So I think we need the terrain, we need the ground to line up with that, right? So basically that's the goal, is for it to end there. This is almost there. Literally has to go up that far. So what's that do? Nice. All right, I think that mostly works. Got to UV this building. Surprised there's no others like it though. As a civil engineer, I approve. It's you know, it's a thing. It's interesting because we don't have these like that anywhere else, but it is laid out, so can't see it from my house. I also don't know if we want to have some kind of like balcony thing up here or something, which I think makes sense. And there might be like a separate object, maybe almost like a modular thing. Not positive, but I figured I'd check for a second. Is there any kind of hard clutter cap? And when you're designing areas, I feel like I'd be adding tiny little out of the way scenes out of small objects. There's not a technical limit, if that's what you're asking. As far as like, do we have our own rules for what to add? Kind of. But like I frequently add in, kind of like you're saying, like in Underdocs I put there's a spot where it's kind of dangerous and maybe you have to jump, and so I took an ogre skeleton and put it all the way at the bottom of that, and then like indented the ground, like it fell and created a little bit of a crater, and made the ogre splat. So I do stuff like that. It just kind of depends. Actually, I'll show you one example right now. Now that I'm thinking of it, I just need to remember. So it should be, so in this room, in this cave, we have, obviously there was like a cave in for some reason that went this way. You know, there's a collapse and we've got all this, and in the middle of it, there's, you know, a couple of people that must have been in there because we got the skeletons. So definitely do stuff like this. It just needs to be, it just needs to make sense. So yeah, there's definitely reasons to do it though. All right. I don't know if I have like a little balcony that's exclusively part of this to put on, or if we need to, like that has a little thing on it. So maybe this is a matter of either extending this out or perhaps, oh, that's what I was looking for. That's on this building. Yeah, I'm thinking maybe I'd try to put something like that on there. And that would be enough. All right, let's see if I can do that maybe. Where is this at? Alright, I actually already have that in my file, so you got that to work with, and then this. Cool, I have both of those in here, so we're good to go. So I'm going to go into this guy and make an effort to, let's see, what if for now, can I just cheese it like that? Looks like. And then I'll undo all that because I'm not sure that I want that. I pasted. Try that again. Okay. Got this now. Copy. Undo. Paste. There we go. Now we've got it. Can hide this now. I'm wondering if I'm going to be able to just like snap this right on there. There is an issue though with this being angled. So the trick here is I need to add a plane. Let's angle this a little bit more just to help it. And then I'm going to put this on face and align rotation. I'm going to get it on this guy because this wasn't lining up straight. So I'll join it into this, and now I can see the rotation. It was off by 2.93 degrees. So I set that to 0, and now it's on the grid again. And I can go back in and delete that. Turn this back off to normal. And so now it'll go clean, lined up in here the way that I want it to. So we want the floor to line up with the floor. Fortunately, there's a center on all of this, so that's pretty convenient for me. Let's go ahead and do cursor there. And we'll set the origin to the cursor. And then this comes down, but I feel like I don't want it to in this case. We want it to just keep going. I'm going to do something weird here. So we put that in place. And then I'm going to join it in. So now it's all one. And then I think we've got some problems to solve here with the mesh. I think the easiest way to solve this might be to cut those and then yeah. Sorry about the Slack notification. This actually, I don't think I'm hurting anything actually if I do that. I was gonna do it a bit differently, but yeah, there's gonna be a little bit of wonkiness in here. That just, holy shit. That was scary. Well, crap. Let's just do it. Oh, okay, that makes sense to me. We'll just do it this way instead then. And then hopefully that's enough, because like this is all joined together. Then there's some weirdness in here with like several different objects coming together, but I don't know, what do you do? And then this looks weird, but this is actually inside of a rock. Yeah, right here. So it might be okay that it's floating like that. I'm gonna not change anything and just see. Well, I guess we double check really quick for. Okay, that's all good. All right, I'm gonna try to overwrite it and see if this works out or not. Just a second to save this. We're in AV Square Tower 1. Got it? There we go. So all it did was kind of plop this out a little bit. Which, if we want that to show a little bit better, I think that works. Good enough. Adds a little balcony to it. Solid. Keep that blender open just in case. Oh, not just in case we're not done. We need to actually do the match the materials on here. So I'm going to be looking at how this one was done and trying to mimic it, I guess, even though it's a bit different. While also, well, that needs done too. A lot of this needs done. This guy is one thing that I need to look at. I gotta see how that was done somewhere. Great. Okay, so we use like a stone material for all of that. Yeah, and that'll be that all the way up for the underside as well, and then just the bottom layer will be that. Okay. So then I can do. Actually, I think this is a whole separate mesh. Yeah. Yeah. So that works. I just need to deselect this stuff. Oh, I need to finish off the missing wall on the inside there. All right, and then we've got like a floor. Maybe just that. Guess I'll add something for floor. I don't know. Find that. All of that is apparently shingle at the moment. Let's make all of that brick instead. Okay, and then the shingle will be this. And I think maybe it gets the pointed parts. I don't remember. Here we go in here. It's gonna look a little busted, but we're using triplanar, so it probably doesn't matter. Just needs to get some reference. Oh, it's actually not. It's actually... Well... This one's a little bit different, actually. A little different. Interesting. So maybe that's all brick too. It's like these are typically shingle. Including the flat part. What's up, Ryok? How's it going? Thank you, thank you. Hope you're doing well. We'll do that and that. This. Okay, that's all the sides there. That's most of it, and then we got to figure out there's like some trim work. And on this, I don't know, because it's kind of... tricky. Working in the Gazette. What are you doing today? Just getting a little bit of work done in AV. Okay. Oh, okay. That wasn't really a big deal because this is all inside. I'm looking at that like, oh man, I can't believe we're gonna have that like clipping through. I forgot that's just the interior. There's a whole exterior wall up here that because this is all inside of a rock. So that wasn't really necessary, but it also didn't hurt anything. It's fine. As long as it's not shifting out of position, we're still good. All right, I suspect that we want this entire stripe up here to be the kind of the trim. Aside from that, though, these are interesting, and I don't know if they're ever really... Yeah. I think they're kind of... Right now, they're just always brick. So, for the time being, we'll keep it like that. So we got this. Is this a capital city or something? This is the Deep Elf City. So, I guess. Okay. Let's supply the things and then start figuring out what it looks like. So we've got the outer wall thing, which will go there. And the stone just goes on this. We've got shingles. I go here. It looks like I missed a single spot on the bottom on the shingles. Also, those need to be UV'd. What if I select all the shingles, and then what if we can cheese this? It might work, it might not. Works on a lot of it. Like, I think it did on the top section, right? Like, that's correct. That one... I think is... We still gotta do this top layer and the very bottom as well. Doorway. Okay. Stone floor. Put that in here. I've got that up. And then at the tippy top, okay, how are we looking now? That's continuous with what's found everywhere else. Pretty good. That's usually brick. What? This guy. Okay, it looks like that's usually the thing too. Looks to me. Okay. I think that all becomes floor. There we go. So that's that. Man, I am thinking that top part totally looks like it should be shingled. Definitely does to me. If it's too broken of a thing, or if it's like weird, then you know maybe I won't. But it's actually not bad. Yeah, shifted some things around, but that's okay. Shingles should be much larger, apparently. Thick, that's still not enough. Let's see what 3 looks like. That seems about right. Well, guess I'm doing this again. Although in reality, I don't think I need it on this. Because that's just brick. So it is kind of inconsistent. It's a little bit more boring, but it'll match better, so. I'll just leave it for now until bigger decision is made on that. I can get these stairs. It's just, I think these stairs are the only like weird outlier over here now. So I'll get that updated. If I do tool, pro builder, export, we'll put this guy in. Sure. Or from here. Cool, look at that. And I think, I'm not sure, but I think when we see these, they're all, I don't know how many of them there are, but I think it's going to be textured the same as the bridges. I haven't really noticed any other ones. I think that's the obvious thing to do. So we just need two things on there. We need like a brick and a floor. think that's it. Gotta see what to call it. I don't know if there's like any other like just stairs in here. Spiral staircase. Yeah, there's some stairs. Okay, we can keep it the same. Building 10 stairs. Ah, we've got a few of these guys, huh? Okay. All right, we've got the thing. We will not import any materials. We will allow it to generate colliders, and I'll bring that guy in. I'm not sure, but I think that's what we want to do with it. Right, and that's that. Noise. We're not missing textures anywhere anymore. Cool. Well, kind of a shorter stream today, guys, but I think that's going to be it for me for now. I just wanted to come in and say hi, 'cause it's been a minute, and knock out a quick few things. I've got a super secret project I'm working on that I got to get back to. I don't know if and when we'll be able to talk about what that is. Maybe when Sean comes back, if it hasn't been said by then you know, maybe you can poke him and ask what I'm working on. You'll find out soon enough. I just don't know. I don't know if it's meant to be secret or if it just hasn't been said yet. I mean, it hasn't, but I don't know if there's a reason or not yet. So I don't want to be the one to leak that yet. You know what I mean? So, but you'll find out soon enough. Let's see. Yeah, appreciate you guys hanging out. Dan Hammer, what about Tuesday? Tuesday what? We'll find out. Not necessarily. I'm not sure. So the problem is Sean's out of town, so I just don't know if it's like meant to be a secret thing or not. But as soon as I know if it's not meant to be a secret, then I will just immediately begin streaming what I'm doing with that. And if it is meant to be a secret, then like you just won't know. Like I said, next time that he goes live, you can always ask if I'm not back live again before then. So we'll see how that goes. But I'm gonna take off. I appreciate you guys hanging out. It's been fun. I'm gonna toss a raid over. Looks like Satyr is live and just went live, so I'll give him some love. He's been around Eminem for a long time. He makes some good YouTube guys and stuff if you guys aren't familiar with him. So I'll toss a raid over and you guys can hang out there. He's on the beta now, so let's get that going. Cool. There it is. Feel free to pop on over and say hello. Appreciate you guys. Hope you have a good weekend, and hopefully I'll catch you very soon, all right? Take care, everyone. We'll see you later.